Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday Thought Junction. Thursday Thought Junction. I've got that right. Thursday Thought Junction. I'm Sherry Dutter, your neuro leadership coach. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about a story of a case study that I've been working with. I've been working with this little girl from middle school. She's been struggling with understanding mathematics. And mom said that she was struggling when she was trying to understand recipes. So today we took a recipe and I gave her a stipulation, and that was that we only have a third of a cup, a teaspoon, and a fourth of a cup. And we had to still figure out how many parts would be required to fill in the amount that was necessary for that part. So the recipe was 2 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour. So we have a third of a cup, and we had to figure out how many thirds of a cup it would take to make up the 2 3/3 cups. And I didn't have a cup handy with me. What I had was paper. So I took a strip of paper. I'm going to start with another one here. Took with a strip of paper and I folded it in thirds. So I folded it like that, and then I pinched. And I opened it up and I asked her how many parts were available. 1 part, 2 part, 3 part. So we talked about the fact that she needed 1 part, 2 part, 3 part, and that she needed 2 of them to make 2 cups, and then she needed another 2/3. I'll get the right strips here. Let me switch and use the clean ones. We needed 2 full strips to make 2 cups, and then we needed 2 parts of another one. So I said, so how many 1/3 cup is she going to need? And with a little bit of struggle, she was able to come up with 8. So I said to her, does that mean that we need 8 1/3 cups to equal the amount that we need in the recipe? Flipping the question, she paused a little bit, but finally came out with yes. It took a little bit for her to understand the connection between the strips of paper and the parts to get the answer. So let's do one more, and that's why I had this one up. Is another one of the parts of the recipe was 1 tablespoon, but I told her we only have a teaspoon available. And so she made the third part again, and I told her that 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. I just gave her that because we didn't have any comparisons to do any measurement. And it was a virtual meeting, so it was hard for me to have those actual pieces of the recipe together because it was a virtual event. So we talked about 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. And that took her the entire rest of the half an hour session to understand the difference between 1 part, 2 part, 3 part of a tablespoon versus 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, and 3 teaspoons. By the end of the session, I could see the light bulb was starting to come on, if you understand what I mean. I don't think she fully got it, but I think she was on her way to understanding a little bit more about converting and utilizing the idea of parts to understand her mathematics and her division. We also used the 100 chart, but I have 120 on my chart. So we use the 120 chart to do some counting activities. So I asked her to start with 8 and count backwards. And I just left her keep going. And she got to 1 and she stopped. And I said, keep going. And the eyes got really big. She paused. And then, with very much lack of confidence in her voice, she said 0. And I said, keep going. And she couldn't. So I challenge you this week to turn your parts into paper and start counting backwards with your students and see if they can go beyond 0. This has been a very fun experience to understand how counting and understanding of parts and the concepts translate into the purpose of mathematics and the procedures that go along with mathematics. So what have we been helping her understand? We have tried to find purpose in these procedures so that she truly understands the concepts behind it. We're working on her working memory, her processing speed. We're working on her metacognition, where she needs to come up with the thinking that goes along with the stories that we're telling with the sessions. We are working on her integrity, that she is in full alignment so that she feels comfortable giving the answer. We've been working on her perseverance to get through to the end and not have that meltdown that's associated with kids' lack of understanding and their frustration and not being able to engage in the sessions. We've been working on her adaptability. I needed to adapt this by putting the lines on it so she understood that was the whole segment meant the part. It wasn't just the line. It wasn't just that. She also did not understand that the part on the far end meant 0. And so we had to be adaptable with utilizing the paper and the parts for her to understand the concept and get the concept fully understood. Mom has seen a change in her confidence with engagement in mathematics. So hopefully we will have a transcendent moment coming here just around the corner that she will be able to go, oh, that's what Miss Sherry taught me. And I think I understand it now. Will take time for her to process and make those connections over time. This has been Sherry Dotterer, your neuro leadership coach. You've been here with Thursday Thought Junction. I hope this gave you an idea of what you could do this week with your students. Have a great week.